Hello, everyone out there, and welcome back to my channel. And I also want to welcome new people as well. If it's your first time to this channel, I want to say welcome as well. And so I want to go right into the message that God gave me on today. And the title of my message is Running on Empty. Running on Empty. And so as I was seeking God for a message to give you all, because I want people to hear from God. I don't want it to just be something that's out of my own heart. This is the message that God gave to me, because a lot of us are running on empty. And see, God knows what we need. He knows what we need to hear and when we need to hear it. And God is so awesome, because we know that one word from God can change literally your whole world. It can change not only your circumstances and how you see it, but how you view it as well. Because a lot of times we view our circumstances from the wrong lens. From the wrong lens. And so a lot of people can relate to this title. Because, a lot of people, they done got to the point where their energy is low. So that means you're not that energetic. Your focus is low. You can't really focus because you got so many things on your mind, so many things to do, and not enough time to do it. Because this is how a lot of people are living today. They live in, just saying this, today's world, people are living at such a fast pace. They just go, go, go. Just constantly going, not getting enough rest. And so eventually what it's going to lead to is going to lead to burnout. And so I looked up what that word burnout means. So that word burnout, it means it's a form of exhaustion caused by constantly feeling swamped. It happens when we experience too much emotional, physical, and mental fatigue for too long. And so we know that God didn't create us to constantly be, we just constantly just going and going and going. It has to be a period where we are renewed in ourselves. We have to renew ourselves. A lot of times, when people, because, when you go to sleep, it's renewing you, because you resting, that body is at rest. But if you constantly going and going and going, eventually, as I said, you're going to burn out. And see, a lot of times we try to renew ourselves by doing things naturally, which is good. A lot of times people go on vacations. Why do they go on vacations? Because they need a break from the everyday stresses, the everyday just going to work, just all the things you deal with. You're trying to escape that, at least for a few days or a week or whatever, 2 weeks. But some people, even when they go on vacation, their brain is literally still at that place. It's still at work. It's still on the things that they was trying to escape from. Because, so that means what? They not really getting a break because their mind is still on the things that they don't even want to be there. But see, God knows how to renew your spirit to the point where it will also affect your mind. It will affect your mind. And once it affects your mind, then everything else is going to follow. Because a lot of times we try to do things in ourselves and it just don't work. It definitely don't work. And so, God is the answer. God is the answer. I keep saying that God is the answer to all of our problems. He is the answer. In Matthew, the 11th chapter, I want to go to Matthew 11th chapter, and I want to read the 11th chapter. I want to read the 28th through the 31st verse. And it says, "Come to me, unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." It says, "Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." And also I thought about in Romans 12:2, it says, "Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." And also, it talks about in the book of Matthew, I thought about in the book of Matthew in the 4th chapter, how even Jesus had to be renewed in his flesh, because the Spirit had led Jesus into the wilderness to be tempted 40 days. It said he was tempted 40 days and 40 nights. I mean, he fasted 40 days and 40 nights. And then the devil came to tempt him. And so we know Jesus was physically weak in his flesh, but at the same time, Jesus was mentally strong, because, see, Jesus was the Word. And so when the Word is in us, it will make us strong even when we are weak as well. It will strengthen us. You know, it says somewhere in Proverbs, it talks about how the Spirit will sustain our infirmity. And so we know that after Jesus went through all of that, and he was tempted of the devil, but you know what he did? He gave the devil the word. He spoke the word. And afterward, it talks about how in that 8th verse, it's 4th chapter 8th verse, it talks about how the angels came and ministered unto him. And then also in the book of, the Old Testament, it talks about in 1 Kings 19th chapter, it talks about the prophet Elijah, how Elijah, he had slain all these false prophets. And so King Ahab's wife, she got angry because Jezebel was a mess. And basically she ran her husband. So when she found out that he had killed all these prophets, she had put out a hit on him. Basically, that's what she did. She put a hit out on the prophet Elijah. And so when he heard that she was after him, he began to run and run and run. He ran to the point of exhaustion. He was exhausted to the point where he was ready to die. And so I want to read a little bit about Elijah and how God had to renew him. He had to renew his strength. Because Elijah, when he was done, he was tired. And so I want to go to 1 Kings, the 19th chapter. I want to start at that 4th verse and read down to the 8th verse. And for anyone that's new to this channel, I read out of the King James Version. And it says, "But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness, and came and sat down under a juniper tree, and he requested for himself that he might die, and said, It is enough now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers." I guess he felt bad that that he had ran from this lady when God had just given him the victory over all these prophets. And so now, like I said, he was tired, emotionally and physically. And it says, "And as he lay and slept under the juniper tree, behold, then an angel touched him and said unto him, Arise and eat. And he looked, and behold, was a cake baking on the coals, and a cruse of water at his head. And so God sent the angel to feed him. And he did eat and drink and lay down again. And the angel of the Lord came again the second time and touched him and said, Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for thee. And he arose and did eat and drink, and went in the strength of that meat 40 days and 40 nights into Horeb, the mount of God. So there was some kind of food that he gave him supernatural energy to complete his journey. And so I just was giving like some different examples in the Bible of people that were running on empty. And also I thought about the woman at the well, the Samaritan woman that Jesus met at the well, because he knew that she needed to be renewed, most likely emotionally, because this lady had married 5 different men, 5 men. And at the time she was working on the 6th man. And so, she had probably went through a lot emotionally. And it was evident that she was trying to fill a void in her life that she could not fill. Because that void that she needed to fill was Jesus. See, nobody, I don't care who you marry or who you be with, nobody is totally going to fill that void that only God can fill in our lives. And so this lady was trying to fill a void. And so now Jesus, he happened on the scene. And so I want to read what he told the lady. It was in the 4th chapter. I want to read a little bit. It's in St. John, the 4th chapter, of what he told her, because she thought he was just coming, just to get a drink of water, but really he was coming for her, to change her life, to change her circumstance. The 4th chapter, I just want to read a couple of verses. I just want to read. Okay, I'm just going to read that 12 through the 14th verse. It says, "Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well and drank thereof himself and his children and his cattle? And Jesus answered and said unto her, Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again, but whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. And the woman said unto him, Sir, give me this water that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. And Jesus said unto her, Go call thy husband and come hither. See, God knew the need that Jesus knew the need that woman had. And it says, the woman answered and said, I have no husband. And Jesus said unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband, for thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou hast is not thy husband. In that sayest thou truly? What he was saying is, what I'm saying to you true? The woman said unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Our fathers worship in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. And Jesus said unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh, and when ye shall neither in this mountain, not yet in Jerusalem, worship the Father. Ye worship, ye know not what we know, what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour cometh, and now is, when a true worshiper shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him. And so, after her encounter with Jesus at the well, she was changed. She was changed, and I'm sure it renewed her in her spirit. See, because a lot of times we need spiritual as well as physical renewal and healing as well. And see, a lot of times, this woman, just think about it. This lady was seeking out to be validated by someone else, and a lot of times we do the same thing. We place our value on how somebody else views us from their, from their standpoint, their assessment of us. We view ourselves the way people see us. When God, He knows that we are valuable because He made us. The Bible talks about in 139, Psalms 139 and 14, how we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Fearfully and wonderfully made. So you are valuable even when other people don't tell you that you are. You have to know this for yourself, that you are valuable. That's why a lot of times we in relationships, where we let people just take away our value. They don't value us, so then we don't value ourselves, and so then we are stuck in these relationships where people are just draining us of our energy emotionally and physically. When you don't have to do that. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself when nobody else believes in you because God says you are valuable. You know? So I want to end this on one last scripture in Isaiah, the 40th chapter. I want to read that 28th through the 31st verse. Forty 28 through 31. And it says, Hast thou not known, hast thou not heard, that the everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainted not, neither is weary. So God is never tired. God never gets tired. It says, there is no searching of his understanding. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increases strength. Even a youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up on wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Amen. Be blessed.